Okay, part 3. So, my point is, which one am I using? I guess I'm using this one. Or am I, yeah, I'm using that one. My point is, when we encounter other people who are our fellow human beings, our fellow human animal beings, look, animals don't all have the same fur. There can be a whole bunch of cats or dogs, and they look different. And they, you know, like if you just have, most of us at this point are mutts. There are very, very, very few purebred humans on this planet at this point. And thank God for that. But so most of us are mutts. And so, you know, just like cats or dogs, they don't all look the same. They don't all have the same fur, and we don't either. We just don't all have the same skin tones. I'm going to go back to my 2 center ones and put some of that in. Oh, I have to take my glasses off to be able to see this. Oh, this is kind of fun. I didn't really realize I was doing this all over my hand. I am doing it all over my hand, which is fine because I have a skin tone, and you know, I have a white skin tone. I'm a white person, Germanic ancestry, pretty much all Germans. Evidently, my German ancestry did not ever take a vacation to Italy, but then I realized they couldn't because they were farmhands and serfs. So, you know, no vacation. What's a vacation? So I'm working some other skin tones onto my palette here, onto this palette, and I'm moving a little bit darker, and you know, this is where we all come from. We come from the warm regions. For some reason, the warm regions of the planet have darker skin tones. You would think that's counterintuitive. I would think that's counterintuitive. There's more pigmentation in the skin so that it is less, I think, less affected by, you know, these are from warmer regions, so it's less affected by UV rays, UVC rays in the well, UVB rays, and some, I don't know if there's UVC rays naturally, some I'm sure, but anyhow, the skin is more protected with a darker pigmentation. The white people come from north. There's white people from all over, but genetically. Oh, let's get some of this because this is an interesting color. It's okay up here. They come from northern parts, which are cold, and they tend to be also more freaking aggressive for some reason. You know, so we think the Swedes are all nice, but basically that's where the Vikings came from. They had those shallow bottom boats that could go up I'm gonna have a real cleanup. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. I am up in the middle of the night, can't sleep. I just have to mention that. I'm sad for what is happening. And I'm angry, and I'm hopeful. All of those things. So anyhow, the white people came from there, and it's not like the white people were all nice. They were actually kind of really super aggressive peoples. You know, the Irish and the Vikings, they had ocean go, and the Japanese, any peoples from island nations, They had northern island nations. They had ocean-going boats. The Japanese got to the west coast of the Americas, the British Isles, the British Isles, Vikings, Baltic Sea peoples got to the east coast. You can see it if you stop looking at people's skin palette. You can see it in the ears and the hairline. The hairline and the ears are very, very good. I mean, ears are the most unique identifiers on a person's head, and people don't think about their ears, so they just like, oh yeah, I'll tell you about my ancestry, because like, I look at people's ears and they're like, you have very interesting ears. Do you know what your genetic history is? And if they do, they'll just tell you. It's just amazing. It's just wonderful. It's been one of the most delightful things. So I'm working down. That's the French. This is the French raw umber, and this is going to be the Italian raw umber. So that's the warm raw umber, and this is going to be the cool raw umber. Now you might not be able to see it, but you'd see it if you could tint it up. So here's the cool one. Here's a gray palette. Some people have gray palettes, and some people have, let's get a little here, a warmer gray palette, which this is. All of this comes from the earth. All of this is dirt. All of us come from the earth. All of us are made out of basic elements. We can call that dirt. We are made out of the earth. We are dust, and we are going to go back to dust at some point in time. Not now, hopefully. Let's add a little bit of not looking at my hand here, which I was totally not intending to do. Let's add a little bit of oh, this is a really nice one. It's a very, very. This one is I'll remember the name of it in a second. My brain is not on the names right now, but I'm kind of deep into the colors. Let's add a little here and see if this is a connector. I've never really done this on my hand before. It's kind of really interesting. And, well, I mean, I haven't done this on my hand since I was a little kid. This is a connector. And it's nice to have a skin tone substrate. Let's keep going with a little bit of this. Oh, let's go with that orange ochre over here and see if I can get a connection between the lightest skin and the darkest skin, a connector of the skin tones in between, the humongous range of skin tones in between, where most of us are in between. These are purebreds. This is another purebred. This is another purebred. This is another purebred. I'm going to go to part 4.